Hi, everyone. It's Neil Brennan. This is Blocks Podcast. My guest today is, I've known him 20, almost 20. We did a hit movie together called The Goods.
And then pretty much the Backstreet Boys came along and revolutionized music as a whole.
Hello.
In 2008, at the same time he was filming another movie called The Hangover, did significantly better.
I just wish your friends were as mature as you.
They are mature, actually. You just have to get to know them better.
Paging doctor.
From The Daily Show.
Those are my pants.
From The Office.
So look out, Dunder Mifflin.
And he has his own podcast called Snafu with Ed Helms. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Ed Helms.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I feel like we've known each other. Let's see.
Over 20.
I just turned 50.
Uh-huh.
So
can't relate.
I'm not sure that we knew each other, but I was sort of in the Boston Comedy Club.
Yes. You emceed the Monday night?
Yeah, I did. I emceed the Monday nights for a couple of years and was just like there all the time.
You know what's interesting about you and I? Vaguely similar faces.
Is that right?
I believe so. I've always thought we have vaguely similar faces. If you just look and you're single, I'll look in mine. I think we have vaguely similar faces.
Vaguely,
like there's something shape-wise about our faces. Anyhow, so yes, I knew about you. I remember when you got hired at The Daily Show. I remember hearing that. So I don't know what year that was.
That was 2002. So that was 20.
I think we were doing Chappelle's show, and I heard that they hired Ed Helms. And then people were like, "Oh yeah, you probably met him at the bus."
Yeah, but then we
worked
dove
together
in
hard.
Just got and brought the heat.
Funny movie, The Goods, didn't do well for a number of reasons, but I stand by the comedy.
Neither of those reasons are you or me.
I stand by the comedy.
I do too. I'm proud of that movie.
Yeah.
That was a ton of fun.
Yeah. And then and I kind of knew that The Hangover was going to crush. Did you know?
That was a little bit later.
It was?
Right? Wasn't it?
No, I think it was. We didn't come out we came out the same year. They both came out summer 2009. We had shot The Goods in 2007.
Oh,
and it was so good they held it for a year and a half. So when you shot The Hangover, which I'd read and was like, this is going to crush. And I always respected Todd Phillips for having Todd's a really good caster.
Yeah.
You were all underdogs at that point.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't like star, which made the movie great, but like he was really good at that. Yeah,
he got built some good chemistry there. I agree.
Based on, I mean, not like it just, I think he just has a sense of like a four-shot who will look good and what'll feel right or something.
Yeah, and the you're right, the script was so good.
Yeah, it was just like, this'll work.
Yeah. And it was just like sort of putting the building blocks together. Like The Goods. Much like The Goods. Please watch
Please,
if
you can find it, please watch it.
Right, everybody?
And Snafu, you were saying is
Snafu's a podcast I started because everybody has a podcast, and I just was feeling left out.
Was it kind of that? Was it the thing where you were like, I'm fucking do a podcast?
No, well, so I definitely was just loving podcasts.
Yeah.
And I was listening to a ton, and I was like, do I fit into this space somewhere? And I didn't really want to do an interview show because I felt like there's a lot of great ones out there, like this one. But also it just wasn't organic for me. So I just started to like think about what do I love? I'm a kind of a history nerd, and Snafu was just this idea that emerged of history's greatest screw ups.
Yeah,
and the screw ups are so fun to look back on because usually, like they're far enough in the past that you can have fun with them, but they can also be very very bleak.
Okay, let's do some blocks. Diagnosed ADHD.
How hacky is that? It just feels but I do have the benefit of saying,
when did you get diagnosed?
Yeah, okay, so this is why I feel a little bit legit, because I actually got
justify this
an official diagnosis. But I have to say, like I think a lot of people, I just had begun to suspect that some of the things I was struggling with in life might have this like overarching like rubric or organizing principle, and ADHD was sounding like kind of an interesting possibility. So I went to I had a neuropsychiatric evaluation and a very in-depth, like,
as an adult, fairly recently.
This was fairly recently.
Yeah.
And I received an official diagnosis of ADHD.
What did they do? Written, obviously.
Yes. Okay. So it was basically a full day of tests, and they're very kind of unusual tests, because sometimes you can kind of tell what they're testing, other times you can't. But it was everything from literally like,
and you can shade your answers, like if you want to have something, you can kind of be like, I can't, yeah,
right,
I'm powerless.
Yeah, exactly. No, it is funny because you're like, is the test designed to pick up on people who are trying to game the test and like trying to get an official diagnosis?
And you don't know.
I actually brought as much kind of like intellectual honesty as I could to the process, because I really wanted some clarity and hopefully help down the road. But the questions are like, it's everything from these weird math problems and like spatial memory, geometry. Yeah. And then there's ones where they tell you like a little story and then ask you questions about it. And then they come back to that an hour later, ask you more questions about it after some other testing. There's some of it's visual. There's weird things like on an iPad where you're like tapping test results to test like your eye movement and things. There's one where that I felt was clearly sort of like autism, like social cue testing, which was like I think you either watch a video or listen to a recording of someone saying something, and then like multiple choice kind of select their disposition. Are they angry? Are they curious? Are they, you sort of like, and that's clearly like a social cue testing. And a lot of it is with a test administrator who's sitting there talking to you. And then some of it was just like, traditional test taking, like timed things, but it was all day. And then they do all the sort of number crunching and over a couple of weeks, and then you come back in and they talk you through all your results, and they say, and then this is what if this is our evaluation, and ADHD is present.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Ding, ding. You win ADHD. And it was a crazy moment, actually.
Because you understood yourself better?
This is why it surprised me. I kind of was expecting, you hear about people saying, oh, I got the diagnosis, whether it's autism or Asperger's or ADHD. People say like, just getting the diagnosis was so reassuring because I suddenly had a kind of pathway to understand this.
Trevor Noah said that.
And I think that's a very common thing. And I actually even expected that, because I expected the diagnosis and I expected to feel that way. And